I'm going to talk today about how we can help prepare our families for Thanksgiving. And again, the essence of Thanksgiving is again, giving thanks, Thanksgiving. So I want to make sure that we can go beyond the turkey and the stuffing. And those are really important. I'm going to get to the fun part later in our session. But I'm going to start today about how to teach our kids to be thankful, because that's a hard lesson. It's a hard emotion to share and evoke. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that in the beginning. Then I'm going to talk about the food, the fun foods that we have and how to try to make them a little healthier. And I'm also going to talk about some ideas for some homemade Thanksgiving decorations. I love homemade decorations really for all the holidays. The purchased ones are lovely, but I think we can supplement and in many places, in many times, replace some of the store-bought ones with homemade ones. They're really fun to have. I think they give us a lot more joy knowing that our kids and our families were involved in making the decorations. And we may save some money on making our own decorations too. So I'm going to be talking about a lot today. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, I'm Dr. Ellen Ettinger, and I love to share strategies for empowerment because we live in a really stressful society. And finding reasons for gratitude and thankfulness, reasons for joy and happiness in our lives, that is truly empowering and freeing. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that today. And we have a lot to cover today. So let's dive right in. And I want to start to talk about three important reasons to teach our families to be thankful on Thanksgiving, because we often overlook that and it really becomes prioritized about the food and the stuffing and the desserts. Do we have apple pie or pumpkin pie or pecan pie? And again, those are important. But the first reason thankfulness is important, again, because thankfulness and gratitude is the true essence of Thanksgiving. We need to remember that it is about giving thanks. And second, and I mentioned this a little bit, we all live with so much stress in our lives, adults and kids. And thinking about reasons that we are thankful in life, reasons for gratitude, can help take us out of that stress mode that we live in and help bring more joy to our lives. And we really need joy in our lives. Thanksgiving is really coming at a really good time when I think we need joy. And third, gratitude has health benefits for our bodies because, again, as I mentioned, it helps take us out of the stress mode. And when we relax, we reduce the stress hormones in our body and we help our mind to relax too. So it influences how we, both adults and children, function by bringing down that stress level and bringing up that joy, that gratitude, that thankfulness for things that we do have in our lives. So why don't we think of thankfulness and gratitude more often on a regular basis? And I'm going to briefly explain our brains are wired to spot and find problems and danger in our lives. It's a survival technique, and our brain wants to make sure that we're aware if ever there's a problem around us, we can see it, attend to it, and take action. Again, it's for survival. So in olden times, if you were walking through the forest and a bear came along, you'd jump and you'd have to figure out what to do. Nowadays, if you're walking and a car cuts into your pathway, you get a jolt and you know you have to take energy. But if you're walking on the street and someone says something nice to someone, you might notice it, and then you'll probably go along on your way back to your normal life. You don't have that jolt of happiness, of joy. And again, our brains are not wired to notice and uplift us with joy and happiness. It really has to be intentional for us to try to find and think of why we're grateful, why we're happy, why we're thankful. There's no special brain wiring for that. It's up to us to think about it, and it's up to us to help our kids learn to notice and think about thankfulness also. And Thanksgiving is a great time to bring that topic up and to talk about it, discuss it with our family, with our kids. I'm going to give you a special tool that I use to help you do that. And it's a song that I wrote. So, those of you who know me well know that I have two YouTube channels. One is called Dr. Ellen Ettinger Life Success, and that's for the topics that I work with my clients and sometimes their families. So I talk a lot about work-life balance and decreasing stress and increasing resilience and helping kids with milestone topics or developmental age times. And there are a lot of topics that I talk about on that channel. And my second YouTube channel is just my name. And that's where I share the songs that I write and sing. I'm a songwriter and singer as well. And I like to share my songs there. And a lot of my songs are what I call songs of empowerment. And I have a song there called I Am Thankful that really talks about the issues that we're talking about today. I'm going to give you a little background about how that song came to be. And I've talked about this, so some of you have heard about this. I am a 13-year breast cancer survivor, and I am doing really well. I was picked up at an early stage 13 years ago with a routine mammogram, and I am doing really well. But I did have a health scare a few years ago. And again, I had to go through lots of medical tests, one after the other after the other. And this time it turned out to be nothing serious. It wasn't another cancer diagnosis. All of the results came back fine. And I was really thankful. I was really grateful. And I decided that it was really a time to be grateful. It happened to be this time of year, exactly 4 years ago. It was a few weeks before Thanksgiving. And I decided that with Thanksgiving coming up, it was really a priority that I really wanted to think of all the things that I'm thankful for, not just the medical test results, but all of the things in my life, things that we often overlook and take for granted. And I started thinking, I'm grateful for the air that I breathe, the food that I eat, how I see. I'm thankful for the roof above my head, that I have shelter. I'm thankful that I have a bed to sleep in. I'm thankful for my family and friends. And I started thinking of all these things that we don't often acknowledge and think about how fortunate we are in life. We often take these for granted. So I wrote a song with those words. I'm thankful for the air that I breathe, the food that I eat, and how I see. And I am going to leave a link to that song in the description so that you can play it for yourself and your families. You can share it with teachers. You can share it with school administrators or community groups, whoever you'd like to share it with. Again, I'm going to leave a link for that song. And if you want to find it yourself, it's under my channel, under my name, Ellen Ettinger, and the song is called I Am Thankful. And I have been told by some people that this song is becoming a family tradition for Thanksgiving, and that it helps people acquire the thinking process for thinking about how to be thankful. So I invite you to experience that song for you and your families and your your kids' classes and your communities. Let me know if you use it and if you enjoy it and if the kids enjoy it. Nothing would make me happier now to know that people are using that song. So please share it with your schools and your communities and families and friends, and let me know in the comments under this video if you use it, and hopefully if it was helpful. Some people are actually saying that they're going to post videos of them singing it with groups, with classes or families. So you could either post in words and let me know if it's helpful, or videos, whatever you'd like to show me. I'll be really delighted to know. So let's move on and talk a little bit about food now. And again, I want to go past just the turkey and the stuffing. I want to talk about, are there any special family recipes that you have that's really special or unique to your family or your community? And make sure you share those recipes with your family members and involve lots of people in making some of the dishes. If you'd like to post anything about your family recipes or special family rituals or things that you do for Thanksgiving, feel free to do that again as well. Again, I want us to be a community sharing with each other. But I'd recommend that in planning the food, we try to think about some healthy vegetable side dishes. I have one, sweet potato and apples, that my family has used. And I encourage people to think about adding vegetables and fruits to the meal, to the menu, to the side dishes, to the desserts. And I also want to make a really important point that the Thanksgiving holiday is really the beginning of the holiday season. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's, we have a bunch of holidays and celebrations, and they tend to include foods with a lot of sweets, a lot of treats, a lot of desserts with a lot of sugar. So let's be aware of the food that we're taking in, that we're sharing with our children. And let's really be deliberate about bringing healthy options in. Again, if you have any family recipes or recipes that you think are healthy that you'd like to share with our community, please feel free to post them in the comments. And next, I want to talk about some artwork and decorations that we can do around the house. Again, I love homemade decorations for all holidays. And the store-bought decorations are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, they are lovely. But there's something really special about decorations that are made by our kids and our family. And I'm hoping that we can supplement or maybe even replace some of the store-bought ones with the homemade, personalized decorations that our family and kids make. And that can help add some joy and maybe even keep down some of the cost. Maybe it can save us some money too. So, and what's more fun and enjoyable knowing that your kids made decorations? So the homemade decorations are really customized, personalized art. And I just love to look at them and see the creations. And there are a lot of Thanksgiving projects, art projects that you can find publicly. I'm going to share some that I like. And I am a big fan of holiday murals, of taking a big cardboard or buying poster board, and you can paint the background in a color, or you can leave it a neutral color, a white or a neutral color. And we can do a number of things. We can, on the board, we can divide it into sections, and everybody in the family gets their own section. And we can have crayons and markers and paints and colorful cutout pictures and glue sticks. And everybody can decorate their own part. Or instead of doing parts, everybody can just decorate where they want. We can even take turns, and people can go up and choose to do what they want until it's the next person's turn. So there are a lot of options for doing that. I love using leaves on a Thanksgiving art project. So I went out and I collected some leaves that had fallen down. And I'm going to show you some leaves that I collected, and they're colorful. I really like the colorful leaves that are around. And so one thing I do is collect leaves, and you can actually put the leaves up on your mural if you want, rather than having them raked and taken away. You can you can make an art project with the leaves. I have a bunch that I'm going to show you. Or one thing I like also is using leaves as a template and taking some paper or cardstock and drawing around leaves of different shapes and making templates, and then allowing kids or asking the kids to draw their own colors on the cutouts. And there are leaves of lots of different shapes and sizes, and we can make different templates of different shapes, different lovely shapes. In my neighborhood, I'm seeing leaves of lots of sizes and lots of different colors. I know not everywhere has different colors. So you can take what you find in your area, in your neighborhood, or even just draw some shapes of leaves that you might use. And again, the leaves can be part of an art project, of a mural, or on just paper even. You can trace around it as a template, or you can use the leaves. And I just think that can be a really colorful project. The other thing that I recommend, and that I'm going to do this year, is I'm going to take some of those templates and have some kids draw on them. And in the middle, I'm going to write people's names who will be at my Thanksgiving celebration. And I'm going to use those as place cards. So instead of just writing a name out on a square, I'm going to have very colorful and meaningful place cards for my family. And another option on these templates or on a mural is to invite people to write or draw what they're thankful for. And that, again, is another meaningful way of acknowledging and thinking about thankfulness. So I like to give some ideas and suggest them and let people make it their own. So I'd love for you to let me know in the comments if you've adopted any of these ideas, either the murals or place cards, or even the leaf templates on paper for art projects. Feel free to post pictures of what your kids and what your families have done as well. And again, as I promised, I'm going to get back to talk about my song, I Am Thankful. Songs can really be a good learning tool and can help us teach kids to focus on something in a different way. So lots of times when you ask kids, what are you thankful for? Sometimes you'll get a response like, well, I'm grateful for my doll or my bicycle or my game or birthday gifts I got, or I'm hoping I'm going to get holiday gifts this year. And again, I think it's so helpful to focus on the things that we so often take for granted, like the air that we breathe and the food that we eat, and having a roof, a shelter over our head, and a bed to sleep in. How fortunate we are. And I'm thankful for so many things in my life. I'm thankful for the beautiful leaves in my neighborhood that I've seen. And I'm also celebrating color as well. I'm thankful for all the colors around me. I think the colors are really uplifting, especially in this season. So I hope that you will play the song for yourselves and your kids and your families. Let me know in the comments how you use the song, whether you've brought them into schools. Let me know about any of your art projects. Nothing will make me happier this time of year than seeing feedback on that and seeing some outcomes on that. So again, let's all remember this Thanksgiving season that it's a time of year to give thanks, to be thankful. So thank you for being here with me today. If you found this helpful, and I hope you did, please click thumbs up, and I will thank you for that. Subscribe so that you will know when I come out with a new video. Again, I do come out every week with a new video on a different topic. Please share this song with your family, with teachers, with schools, with your community. And please put in the post if you use it and how it gets used. I would love to know that people are singing about thankfulness. So again, I'll be back next week with another video on another topic. Until then, be empowered and let's talk together soon.